Alright guys, this is what the PowerStroke Jude here, this is what the passenger side, the right side of the vehicle looks like when the valve cover is off. This is your high pressure oil rail, and this is your injection control, your injection ICP sensor, injection control pressure. It's held on by 30mm Torx bolts. It's got 8 of them. I'll be taking that off next, but there's one test I want to run before I take off the oil rail. I just want to prime the fuel system and see if I get some fuel coming out of the block plug that I pulled out. I'm pretty sure that I am. To get this off, you start off with this tube. It's called the charge air cooler tube. It goes right here to the turbo and right here to the intercooler. It's got the boots connect with 11mm nuts. Loosen those 11mm nuts and you might be able to twist it off. You might need a hose pick. After that, you're going to want to take off your glow plug module, which sits right here on top of this bracket, which sits here. Hold this right here. This is your valve cover gasket. And then here's your valve cover itself. So this sits in there. This sits over there like this. You know, so the sensor's in the middle. This is where the oil fill is. Just take that off with a pair of pliers. I use a pair of channel locks, and it sits like that. All this is held on with 10mm nuts. Take that off. There's 2 connectors and a connector for that. These are all held on. Look at me now. The valve cover is held on with 10 12mm nuts. You're going to want to mark where they go because some of them are bolts. Some of them have, I'm sorry, I meant bolts. Some of them have studs because they hold down parts of the harness, you know, they clip on there. And parts of the bracket for that module that I showed you clip onto it. Take a picture of it. Easy if you take a picture of it. There's also the transmission dipstick, and it's held on to the valve cover bolt that goes right here. It goes onto the stud also with the 10. Take off that 10. Mount this off to the side. You know, I just pull this AC line up a little bit, tuck it back in there, and it's out of your way. You're good. You can work on it for the rest of the way. That's the gist of it, man. It took me a little longer than I wanted because I've got 2 cordless ratchets, 3 cordless ratchets. One I loaned out. One of them took a dump yesterday, and one of them I don't remember if it got stolen or if it got wet. I don't know what happened to it. I just know it's not working. So I don't have a cordless ratchet. I was using air today, and my air hose took a dump on me. I have another one. I just got to go dig it out in my garage. I'll put that together to finish up, but I did half of this by hand. So it took me about 25 minutes, 30 minutes. It's not real hard to do. The other side looks really intimidating. Put the camera on but it's not. Once you take that air filter off and the degas bottle out of the way, it's a piece of cake. There's another module there, the fuel injector control module, another bracket. I'll show you that as we go along as well. But until I get to the other side, PowerStroke Jude out. Don't forget, like, comment, share, subscribe, ring the bell. Alright guys, what's up? PowerStroke Jude here. I'm going to show you real quick how the oil rail comes off on the driver's side. This is the dummy plug. You don't need to take this off. It's just an example to show you which size, well, I might take it off. But no, that one doesn't need to come out. It's the back one, that's the standpipe that needs to come out. But just so you know, it is a 12mm hex. Earlier style years, if they don't have the update, have a smaller hex. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's a 10. But see, once you get that on there, use a nice good ratchet to break it loose. And that's cool. So I'm not going to take it all the way out yet because I want to show you along the rail there's, I believe, 8 30mm. I don't know if you can focus in on these at all, but there's 30 where my ratchet's going. These are 30mm Torx bolts, and there's 8 of them. Let me crack a couple of them loose. You'll hear them crack loose as I start. And there you go. There's one. Here's another one.
dipsticks. I was been in here before, so I might have damaged that one out. I may have to figure out how to take that one off. But there's another one here. Oh, where's RBRT when you need it, huh? You see how easy these all start and crack. One more right here. Well, alright, stop the video. Go ahead and stop here. Alright guys, I'm finishing up on this oil rail, just getting the bolts out. I don't know if you can see the setup I have back here, but a lot of people seen these bit sets, and what I'm using is the little bit ratchet and the 30 millimeter, or 30 millimeter, I'm sorry, the Torx 30. And since the ratchet's only, yay long, and you're laying over the engine and you don't have a lot of room for leverage, what I do is I get big socket that fits over the shanks. The shank side fits over the ratchet. I apply a little bit of pressure, and there you go. Breaks loose. And then you can take the socket out and take the bolt out. But you got to be careful you don't drop your T30. But I take it out because you don't have much leverage to get anything in there, and much space to get anything in there, and you got to kind of just twist it out by hand using that little hex bolt. If you focus here where my finger's at, that T30 is stripped. Not sure what I'm gonna use to get it out yet. It was on there way too tight. I've tried hammering one in. I don't have the RBRT bolts set yet, but I may have to go pick one up. Hopefully the Mack truck that's running around here, I know it's probably not going to be here on a Sunday, but maybe tomorrow morning I can find out where he's at and go get it. So I'll show you the rail when I get it off. I have replacements and I have extra hardware for all of this, so I definitely wouldn't put that one back in after I get it out. But you see me spinning this little one by hand. I haven't dropped my T30 bit yet. It's almost out. I can feel it coming out. So at this point, when I can almost get my hand on it, I'm going to take the bit out, still in my hand, set it up here, and finish this off by hand. I can have enough bite on it where I can grab it. Sometimes you can't use gloves. They get too oily, and I still need the bit. It's a little bit snug in there still. But I'll show you as I take the setup. Doesn't take too long. Waste all your valuable time. I appreciate you watching if you are. So anybody local, I'm gonna let you know we barely got there we go right here, a Mack truck in there. I don't know if you can see it, if it's in focus, but that one came out. So that's easy enough. Now the rest of them are all broken loose, and I'm gonna run them all out. You saw me do that. I took out this plug. It's a stamp pipe, not a dummy plug. There's another piece stuck in the pipe. When I pull out the rail, I'll show you how you hold it so that because it fights you right here because of the evap box. But you get a pair of needle nose pliers and you hold it at the bottom and you pry it out. Sometimes you get lucky and it comes right out with it. And then what you got to do is you got to hold it up here and get it apart so it comes out. Other than that, it's going to be a piece of cake. I am going to have to fight with this one, but I might leave that for the time being and move on to the other side because I know I've only got so much time. And once I get that bolt out, it's a piece of cake the rest of the way. But stay tuned, guys.
Alright guys, well I was determined not to let this side beat me, man. It was pissing me off. I had talked to my friend Justin Dow, cool guy. You guys probably all know him way more than you know me. But anyways, he was going to let me use that RBRT set, and I still may borrow it because there's stuff messed up on here all over the place. But anyways, what I did was I pulled out the vacuum canister that sits right here inside the right side of the vehicle. From underneath the right wheel well, there's 3 10mm bolts. All you got to do is take off the vacuum line. Take off this vacuum line from right here take out the 310s. This comes out, set that off to the side, and I can show you guys what I've taken off so far. You know, this is the work we've done. There's the oil rail and the valve cover from the driver's side. There's the air box, the FICM, the CAC air cooler on this side, 1 battery, 2 batteries. It's everything that's come off so far. The 4 injectors that I pulled out, I can show you. You know, the injector, no more injectors in there. I laid some rags right here in the battery tray, and I laid them out. You know, the way they came out, 2, 4, 6, 8. You know, that way you don't get them confused. And this is that plug that came out with it. I still haven't taken out the other part of the standpipe, but I will take that out. But like I said, here's the 4 injectors laid out. As I take out the other 4, I'm gonna lay them right here. I have some rags laid out here on the other battery tray, and I'm gonna lay them out right here, 1, 3, 5, 7. It's gonna be the same way to take this one out. This one you gotta finagle a little bit. You just gotta pry it up, let it drain the oil, and then you pull it out. But what I did was I pulled out that box so I could get my long, you know, I guess it's like a 12-inch, 15-inch extension, and I got my Matco T30. I called them 30mm Torx earlier. That's kind of stupid. They're T30s. But I lined it up perfectly with that box out of my way, and I smashed the you know what out of it. Got it in there, held it tight. Got my long SK 1/4-inch ratchet, 12-inch SK 1/4-inch ratchet. I mean, it's nice, and that way I had some good leverage on it. And I slowly went and heard it crack. Boom. Once it cracked, I knew it was cool. So now this side's going to be done. I showed you the other side. This side's the exact same. I'm just going to pull the oil rail out, pull out the injectors, line them up, and then I'm done until I get my parts and approval. I know, because the customer approved for me to go this far, you know, for testing purposes, you know, just to see what I got to see. But I'm going to do one more test after I get these injectors out, you know, just for filming sake, and it was maybe to show you guys something. But I already know what's wrong with it. But then once he sees his parts list, you know, 2 heads, I think those are $1,400 a piece. All the hoses, you know, everything he's going to need. He's going to need 8 O-ring kits. I think those are 8, 10, $12 a piece. It's going to get up there in price, and just parts alone, it's going to get up there. You know, I know some guys at Ford, and I may be able to work them a discount where I can get him cheaper than he can. And what I'll do is I'll charge him more than what I get him for, but less than what he can get him for. So it's a win-win. You know, I'll make a few bucks on the parts, and he'll save a few bucks on the parts. So in my book, that's a win-win. But this is where I stored all my nuts from everything on the top. You know, it's my grippy tray. I could have used a bolster, but I know this thing by the back of my hand, so if these things get all mixed up, it's no big deal. But I have absolutely no need to use a bolster on this. That's for something that I'm not familiar with. But I got the valve cover bolts from the passenger side, driver side. You know, both all the oil rail bolts. This is the stuff that held on the FICM, and these are all my 10mm nuts that held everything else on. But that was a pretty good job, well done. Say hi to Mrs. Santa Cruz as she looks away. But yeah, that's my beautiful wife over there. And anyways, don't know if I'm in focus, but that's how you take the injectors out of a 6.0 PowerStroke. Probably going to be taking the heads off next weekend, probably starting Friday. And I'm going to try to do some good footage of that. I'll show you how to take off the turbo, show you how to take off the intake, the EGR cooler, the oil cooler. Probably even going to reseal the front cover, so I'll show you how to take off the front cover. I'll show you how to take off the fan clutch, all that